What a great chapter. Chapter 55. It actually got me amped enough to make a video. So yeah, here it is. I'm actually going to be responding to the comments of my spoiler video that I made. So let's start with the first one. It says, all those goddamn pure eyes in that panel. I don't even know what those are. I don't think those are Jogan, but most likely they could be because of the way they've been depicted, right? People thought that Ishiki also had the Jogan, but it turns out it wasn't the Jogan. It was another dojutsu. Has it been given a name? I don't think it has. I don't think we know the name of Ishiki's dojutsus, but I think we do know the names of his techniques, right? So yeah, that's a something they didn't tie up. Anyway, based on the panel where this character, seems to have, three Jogan in his head, I think all that is not really a person. I think that's just the depiction of what Ishiki's talking about. He talks about becoming the ultimate god, right? And in his head, right, when he's talking about a god, this is just like a stand-in figure to represent what a god should look like, or what code can become, kind of thing. I don't think this is actually a person out there, because if there is an Otsutsuki god in the universe somewhere, then if you are God, you can basically wipe out the entire universe at once, or just absorb all the chakra from the universe at once. So I don't think anyone has achieved that level of power. And if someone has achieved that level of power, then that would basically destroy the story, because I mean, they're at a height now where, it was basically turning into Dragon Ball Z kind of thing. There wasn't much story there. There was just fighting and, about who could throw the biggest, nuke or whatever it is. But yeah, the fact that they've scaled it down is actually quite good. And I hope there's no being in the universe who has actually achieved this form, or has become whatever this is supposed to represent. So yeah, I don't know if that's a Jogan or not. Most likely it is. Most likely it's not. It could be a new dojutsu that we haven't seen that is depicted that way. But yeah, if it is the Jogan and someone has achieved this form, then that means that Boruto has the Jogan, right? Now we know that Otsutsukis can pass on their power, like Ishiki is doing in this chapter to Code, and it has been hinted also that Boruto had something done to him by Toneri. So if Toneri was the one who gave Boruto the Jogan, then I wonder where Toneri has the highest form of dojutsu from to even give it to Boruto in the first place. That right there is a head scratcher in itself. Great. Next one, it says, this will reduce the power creep. Ishiki, anyways, eat all the planets in the universe and become a god who has the power of the universe. Yeah, just because Ishiki is saying that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. At the end of the day, Code is a villain, and villains will get stopped at some point. It is how they get stopped that turns into an interesting story, right? Naruto and Sasuke have been reduced in power, so yeah, eventually they're going to have to find some kind of way to destroy Code. So far all Code has gotten is the Karma Seal, right? He has Ishiki's power, but we don't know whether it's going to take some time in order for him to actually learn how to use those powers or not. We don't know what's going on, so maybe they can stop him before that happens. Remember, at the end of the day, the fights have turned into using a smarts instead of more power. They outsmarted Ishiki and defeated him that way, instead of trying to match his power with even more power. So it is very likely that they can stop Code before he gets to the point where he's too powerful. So yeah, I hope that is the direction that they're going into. And in fact, I don't think Kishimoto would have just nerfed Naruto and Sasuke for no reason at all. Maybe he's trying to go into the opposite direction, and to create a power that's so strong that everybody has to use their smarts instead of more power in order to counter that. I hope that is the case, because there's a better story to tell in struggle than people who go through life and ace things with ease. Like, there's no story there. It's not interesting, and that's why the underdog is one of the most sold characters in media in general, like in terms of like entertainment, because it's more interesting to see somebody who's struggled make it than somebody who's already made it, do something with their lives. Like, it's really not that interesting. Anyways, next one says, when you realize the Otsutsuki King is a DMT entity. I think you're referring to a character in Marvel, or was it DC? I don't know. It's one of those characters that apparently looks the same as what has been drawn in this manga panel here, of this representation of a Otsutsuki god, or a god in general, with Jogan behind him. Next person says, I think this means that Amado was betraying the Leaf this whole time, because he for sure knew that Code was another vessel. Damn. I don't even know. if Amado knew whether Code was a vessel or not. All we do know is that he used everybody in order to get, rid of Ishiki or Tsuki. If that is the case, then it makes me wonder, what did Ishiki basically promise everybody in Kara in order to convince them to actually become, members of Kara and to help him destroy their own planet? That makes absolutely no sense. I really want to know what Ishiki promised. We know most likely what Code wants. Code probably just wanted power, and that is why he probably became like a servant of Ishiki and started worshipping him. So yeah, who knows? At the same time, I don't think Code already was a vessel. What I do know is that, Otsutsuki's in general, whether it be Hagoromo or Momoshiki or whatever it is, once you kill them, there's a space in time, right? There's little, space or time that allows them to travel as ghosts and visit people and then give them a message before they fully fade into nothingness. So yeah, that could have happened. Ishiki probably traveled to Code and gave Code the karma before he fully faded away. I think that is most likely what happened. So it says Sasuke could use Izanagi to bring his Rinnegan back by sacrificing his Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, then get an arm made of Hashirama cells, fixing his eye and awakening his second Rinnegan like Madara did. Now this is very, very important, alright? I don't think Sasuke is going to get his Rinnegan back. Let me tell you the reason why, okay? When Madara was first revived, what he could have done is literally just fuck up Sasuke, right? Remember, he had Sasuke literally on the floor, fucked up. If he could have awakened a Rinnegan, right, what he could have done is taken one of Sasuke's eyes and then put it into the missing eye socket, right? The eye socket that has an eye missing. He could have put it in there, and then he could have used, whatever, Rinnegan awakening power that he had to awaken that eye and turn that into Rinnegan. Therefore, he would not have had to collect his other Rinnegan that was being, hidden away from him. He could have done that, but he didn't. He went after his Rinnegan. So what does that basically say? That basically means that once you've unlocked a Rinnegan in the eye, that's basically it. It's done, right? Because remember, how's a Rinnegan unlocked? You need to get the Sage's chakra, right? And you need to be at near death. So yeah, those terms, only one of those terms has been met. Sasuke already has the Sage's chakra, but he does not have, he's not been at near death, right? So yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. And if that could happen, then Madara would have just used Sasuke's eye in order to awaken, another Rinnegan instead of chasing for his other eye. So I don't think the Sasuke is going to be able to awaken another Rinnegan. Like, that would literally contradict the whole point of why, Naruto and Sasuke have been nerfed. I think this nerf is basically permanent. Bijus are pure chakra, so they can't die. Probably they will resurrect in another form in somewhere, or I guess you meant some way or form, right? Nah, Kurama basically said like, nah, I'm done. I'm literally like finished. He's dead. And he said at some point after Naruto dies, he's going to meet Naruto in the land of the dead. So nah, like, he's not going to be revived anywhere. He's basically dead. Great. So another comment, well, a lot of comments basically say Naruto hasn't lost everything. He still has his Uzumaki chakra reserves. I know that, but that's not enough. I'm sorry, but let's be real, okay? After, the whole pain arc, and after Naruto was fucking with Kurama and, got his Jinchuriki powers on point, literally the most important battles that decided the fate of the entire planet was not fought with Naruto's chakra reserves. It was all fought with Kurama's chakra reserve. So that is what I'm saying. Naruto and Sasuke have been heavily nerfed. The reason why, right, I think this is basically, all their power, because obviously, let's be honest, it's not all their power, but this is what separated Naruto and Sasuke from regular human beings, is the powers that made them look like gods, bro. See that, the final clash that they did with, the Indra's arrow and, the tail beast bombs. Naruto and Sasuke will never be able to reach that level of power with the amount of losses that they've experienced in this battle. That is exactly what I'm saying, right? So, yeah, Sasuke does still have, his Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, and yeah, Naruto still has, Six Fats Sage mode, but he no longer has the Six Fats technique, right? And in fact, he's lost Kurama. So yeah, that's basically it. People say that he still has, all the other tail beasts, but let's be honest, he really doesn't. What has happened though after, you know, getting chakra from all the tail beasts, is he has formed a link with all the tail beasts. So if they wanted to send him power, they can just send it through, I don't know, freaking Ninshu, which is basically Wi-Fi, right? They can send it through Wi-Fi to Naruto, and then he can use all these powers, like, you know, the magma, Rasen Shuriken, and so on and so forth. In fact, Naruto needs to ask for permission in order for these tail beasts to even agree to give him power. When he once decided to do a little meeting, when Urashiki was still running around doing stupidities, Naruto asked for a meeting with all the tail beasts. Some of them did not turn up because they weren't interested. So therefore, what does that prove? It proves in order for Naruto to, you know, unlock or use these powers, he needs the chakra of all tail beasts. And guess what? Now the 9th tail beast is basically gone. So that basically means Naruto will never be able to use the 6th batch technique again, because in order to use it, you need all of the 9 tail beasts. So yeah, that power by itself is gone, and Kurama's also gone. So Naruto can no longer access, you know, Biju mode. So yeah, the whole point is, what separated them from ordinary humans and made them gods has literally been taken away. Alright, Sasuke can't pull meteorites from the sky, he can't take people's souls, and he can't open dimensions anymore. Naruto can no longer throw large-scale attacks that can destroy entire continents. He can't do that anymore. And he doesn't have enough chakra reserves to power an entire shinobi army. He doesn't have that. Uzumaki chakra reserve doesn't allow you to power an entire village, or an entire, you know, it's not even the entire village, because the Shinobi Alliance was a multitude of villages, right, or nations combined in an army that were fighting the Jubi. Naruto can't power that anymore. That's exactly what I mean with it separates them from, you know, regular humans to gods. They've lost what made them gods. That's the whole point of what I'm trying to say. But yeah, that's basically it. I'm gonna call it a day with this Q&A. So if you want your comments to appear in the next, you know, video, then comment in the comment section down below. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed, and I have nothing more to say. Bye.